Hey there, difference maker. Today I'm going to share 5 things that I needed to recognize before I was able to go from feeling inspired to actually living inspired. So the first thing was to understand that inspiration, it's not random, it is directional. So I think about the concept of knowledge is power. You've probably heard that before. I've heard it a million times. Knowledge is power. Well, the fact of the matter is knowledge is not power. Knowledge is potential power. It is only when you implement, when you take action on that knowledge, it becomes powerful. And inspiration is kind of the same thing. When you feel called to do more, to dive deeper into something, to move in a particular direction, like that's not a random thought. That is guidance. And I believe that inspiration is really your first sign that you're being called into a bigger version of your purpose. So that's the first thing I had to realize, was that inspiration is not random. And the second thing I needed to recognize was that people were already coming to me for more than just fitness. They saw me as a safe place. Now, I was a personal trainer, I was a group fitness instructor, I was a yoga teacher, but they were also seeing me as a guide. And I was having conversations that could be called coaching long before I recognized that they were coaching conversations. So when I realized that, hey, I'm kind of already doing this, I'm just not calling it coaching, nor was I charging for coaching. I was just having conversations. And guess what? That's what coaching is. It is conversation. It is you being able to have conversations with another human being who has invested in this partnership with you to be their collaborative brainstorming partner and someone that they can feel safe with to help them tap into their own inner wisdom. So I'm wondering, have you maybe had these conversations also? Maybe you already have had some coaching conversations. My guess is if you've been teaching or training for any length of time, you've probably had coaching conversations that go beyond the physical. So something else I had to recognize. And the next thing I had to recognize, I had to realize that I didn't have to leave what I loved. Like I didn't have to leave fitness and yoga to be able to move into like wellness and life coaching and helping people on a deeper level. It really was about widening my lane and still incorporating the fitness. I mean, to this day, I teach 10 fitness and yoga classes a week. Like I feel like I'm going to be the one teaching at 105 and they're going to have to pull me out of the studio with a cane around the neck or something like those old shows, because I just can't imagine not doing it. I absolutely love it to this day after doing it for 33 years. And so I had to realize, before I'd really allow myself to take action on that inspiration, I had to realize I don't have to leave behind what I love to do, nor do I have to leave behind the community that I love to serve. This was just about serving them on a deeper level and honoring the fact that I may not always be living in a body that's going to allow me to teach the way I taught when I was in my 20s and 30s. I mean, back then I could teach 10 kickboxing classes in a week and be okay. But now it would be kind of at what cost? So we're probably not going to be doing kickboxing and burpees 7 days a week, and that's okay. Our lives and our bodies evolve. We move through these different chapters, and it's a beautiful thing. And so when I realized, like, I don't have to leave fitness and yoga, I can still serve in the way that helps people live healthier within their physical body, but I can also go beyond that to be of service in a way that helps people on a deeper level accomplish true transformation in their lives. And another thing I had to recognize is that I was really passionate about not only living my best life. That's kind of how all this started. That's a story for another day, but just looking within and saying, okay, I'm doing all the things as far as physical exercise, nutrition, and getting rest, but it feels like there's more to this for me to feel really fulfilled and live my healthiest, happiest, most content life. And that search led me to then be really passionate about not only living my best life, but helping others do the same. And I found that I had to ask myself 2 questions I would encourage you to ask yourself. And one was, if I were to go deeper, from fitness into holistic well-being and help people in all areas of their lives, is it something that would spark joy within me? Would it create fulfillment? Okay. And the second question was, could it help people? And once I realized that moving in this direction would be fulfilling, would spark joy within my heart and soul, and it would help people, it was a yes to both those questions. I got to the point where I realized it was my moral obligation to move in this direction. And so recognizing that I was passionate about it, saying yes to those two questions, I realized I needed to learn whatever I needed to learn, whether it's new processes, new tools, new resources, new frameworks, and then I had to live it. So I had to live this healthier way of life. So that's when I started really getting into my presence practice and deeper into stress management and self-care and all these things that I knew I was going to be coaching others on, really being committed to the intention of living my best life. So I had to learn what I needed to learn. Then I needed to live it for myself so that I could be a good role model and an example for others. I could lead others down a same or similar path in the way that is most fulfilling for them. So I needed to learn that as well. And I have learned that no matter where you are on your journey, no matter how long you've been in the space of wanting to help people live healthier, happier lives, this is a path that works for everyone. To get to the next level, what do you need to learn? And then you learn it, you live it for yourself within your own life, and then you're able to lead others in whatever area you're passionate about. And then the fifth and final thing was I learned I didn't have to step into this next level alone. I have been my entire life, I think, a natural born collaborator. I am a relator in different scales and, those like behavioral and personality assessments that you take. I always come out a relator and a team player. I'm very inclusive. I'm a relating director in the platinum role. And it's just always been important to me that I surround myself with like-minded, heart-centered, purpose-driven leaders. And for many, many years, I had that in the fitness space. I still have that in the fitness and yoga space. And I am so thankful to be on a team of incredible, teachers and trainers and leaders, and then to have connections throughout the industry, through the conferences and different organizations with leaders in this space that inspire me and who, we can lock arms and continue to do great things together. But when it comes into more the holistic well-being space, I kind of was reaching out, looking for something, and I hadn't really found anything that created a like-minded community around specifically holistic well-being and really helping people accomplish their goals, not just their goals, but their inspired goals, which is why I created the whole power process, is to help people accomplish those inspired goals, the ones that light them up from within, and then to look at their life experience in a more holistic way. And so that's why I created the Wellness Leadership Association. The WLA is a platform that I designed to bring together, again, like-minded, heart-centered, purpose-driven leaders who, whether you're a fitness professional, yoga teacher, nutrition coach, personal trainer, maybe you're already a wellness coach or a life coach, in all these different kind of walks of life, they're just the roles that we play. But at the end of the day, we all want to help people. We all want to help people live healthier, happier lives. And so I wanted to create a community where we can all come together in all the different modalities, not just fitness, not just yoga, not just other elements of holistic well-being like mindfulness and self-care and things like that, but across the spectrum of what could be encapsulated under the umbrella of holistic well-being. I wanted to create that community. So that's what the Wellness Leadership Association is about. And if you feel the nudge to kind of move into the next chapter for yourself, which would be the next level, I encourage you to think about the 5 things I talked about. If you're feeling the inspiration, that's not random. It is directional. It is guidance. It's not just a fleeting thought. It is guidance. So you got to listen. And then you have to understand and maybe recognize that you're already a guide. you're already a safe place. If you're having conversations with people and they're asking you anything from, what kind of greens powder do you use in your sports drink to, I find it hard to get sleep. What tips could you give me to, how do I meditate? Do you have any tips for meditation or for stress management or for self-care or, you're already coaching. And so maybe think about moving in the direction of making it official if you haven't already done so. And then recognize that you don't have to leave what you're already doing. This is about expanding to be able to serve on a deeper level. And of course, only if you discover and realize within yourself that you're really passionate about it. You're passionate about living your best life and helping others do the same. Because it's only if you're passionate about it, you're going to be open to learning what you need to learn, living it for yourself, and being a great leader for others, which means being a great role model for others. And then, of course, recognize that you're not in this alone. We're all in this together. And so if you find yourself on this path anywhere, whether you're aspiring or you've started, you're somewhere in the middle, or you've been doing this for quite some time, if you find yourself to be heart-centered, purpose-driven, a desire to help people live their best lives because you're passionate about it yourself and you know the kind of joy and freedom and contentment and fulfillment it can create for others, and that lights you up, well then, man, I would just love to have you look into the Wellness Leadership Association. If you have questions, you let me know either in the comments or you can send me an email, Kimberly@theinspiredlifeuniversity.com. Would love to hear from you. And if you're not sure, what it really means to have the conversation around holistic well-being, well, I've got a free workshop called Wellness is the New Fitness that you can find a link to in the description. It's completely free. It offers CECs for ACE, AFAA, and NASM, and it really just paints the picture of what holistic well-being is. I teach you the 6 dimensions of holistic well-being that I've been coaching from for many years now with the clients I work with. It's the wheel of well-being that I teach to all the coaches that I work with, and that training is there for you for free. There's also a link in the description to the Wellness Leadership Association. Check it out. See what it's about. See what's included. We come together a couple times a month. We support each other. We brainstorm. We celebrate each other's wins. We support each other when we are going through challenges. If we have problems, we come together and brainstorm solutions. And I love the feedback that I get when we finish with our leadership meetings, where people are saying they are inspired or they're brought back to what it is that they love or why they love it, and they feel so supported. And so if that resonates for you, then I'd love for you to feel that kind of inspiration and support as well. So check that out. But regardless, really think about what it means to go from feeling inspired to living inspired, because there's no way to go from one to the other without action. And so if nothing else, take action in some way, shape, or form. And if you feel so inclined to check out Wellness Leadership Association, please do. And again, if I can provide clarity on that, you let me know. But keep moving forward to continue to become more of who you really are, to live in the fullness of who you are, so you can live this life in the fullness of all it has to offer and make the kind of difference you came here to make. You're a difference maker. You're an uplifter. If you weren't, you wouldn't be sitting here watching this video. So that's what I know. And so I encourage you to keep moving forward and know that I am here rooting for your rise every step of the way. So until our paths cross again, I am sending you much love.